Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to demystify the terms of use for a service called Owntic. The whole idea is you get cash for your car, but you don't actually give up the keys. Sounds great, right? But what's the real cost here? Let's break it all down. Owntic is really built around this one super common dilemma. You need cash, like right now. But you also really need your car to get to work, to live your life. So the big question is, how do you get the value that's locked up in your vehicle without actually having to sell it and, give it up for good? Okay, so to really get how this all works, we're going to walk through 6 key areas. First, the basic idea. Then, how a deal actually comes together. We'll follow the money, look at the big no-nos, check out the protections and perks, and finally, cover your risks and your responsibilities. All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Owntic, the basic idea. Let's get to the heart of what this service is really all about. So at its very core, Owntic is basically a marketplace for what they call a sell and continue to use model. And it's just what it sounds like. You formally sell your car to a business through the platform, but then you immediately rent it right back. So what's the result? You get cash in your hand, but you literally never stop driving your own car. Okay, so to make sense of all this, you've got to know who the 3 key players are. First, there's the customer. That's you. Then you've got the business. That's the company that's actually buying your car or leasing it back. And finally, there's the platform, which is Owntic itself. Now, here's the most important thing to grasp. Owntic is just the matchmaker here. They're not the ones buying your car or leasing it back. They're just the service that connects you with the business that will. That's a huge distinction. Okay, so we know the players. Now let's look at the playbook. How does a deal actually go down on the platform from the very beginning to the end? All right, so the whole process breaks down into 5 main steps. Step 1, you list your car, you set your price, you set your terms. Then, for 3 business days, businesses can look at your ad and send you private offers. After that, you review those offers and pick the one you like best. Simple enough. Once you agree, both you and the business pay Owntic's service fee. But, and this is super important, so pay close attention, that very last step happens completely off-platform. You finalize the actual binding contract directly with the business, not through Owntic. Right, let's talk money. How does it all flow, and what are the critical financial rules you absolutely need to be aware of? This section is all about understanding the costs. So when does your wallet actually come out? Well, the good news is, joining the platform, listing your car, even getting bids from businesses, that's all totally free. You only have to pay Owntic their service fee after you and a business have officially shaken hands on a deal. Basically, you don't pay a single dime until the platform has actually done its job and found you a match. Now, because Owntic only makes money after a deal is struck, they've got a really strict rule in place. It's to stop people from making a deal and then trying to sneak off and cut Owntic out of the loop. If you get caught trying to hide a transaction just to dodge that fee, the penalty is pretty severe. You're going to get charged double the original service fee. It's their way of making sure all the deals that start on the platform finish on the platform. Okay, every platform has its rules, right? But Owntic has one really big one that is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. This is the one clause you just cannot ignore. And here it is. This is the big one. The terms state that your lease agreement cannot contain any clause that forces the car to be sold back to you. What does that mean? It means there's no official way to get ownership back. Let me be super clear. This is not a loan where you pay it off and get the title back. No, this is a final sale followed by a lease. And the terms are so strict on this, they say that any kind of buyback clause is legally invalid, even if you and the business try to agree to it on the side. Now, it's not all just strict rules. To balance things out, let's look at the specific services Owntic offers to try and build trust and support its users. These are things designed to give you a bit of a security blanket. First up, there's something they call legal protection. Now, hold on. This doesn't mean Owntic is giving you a lawyer. What it is a standardized contract framework. Think of it like a template. The whole goal is to make sure the final agreement you sign with the business is fair, it's clear, and that protects your rights as the customer. Next, we've got payment assurance. You can kind of think of this as a reward for being a reliable customer. Here's the deal. If you make your first 3 months of rent payments right on time, Owntic then gives you a safety net. So if you hit a rough patch later on and can't make a payment, they'll actually step in and cover the rent for you for certain months. It's a nice little cushion to have. And last but not least, there's a pretty practical little perk called Card Owntic. It's simple. If you're up to date on your rent payments, the platform will give you a small, interest-free loan of up to $50 for gas. It's not a game changer, but it's a genuinely helpful little benefit for managing those day-to-day costs. All right, let's get down to the bottom line. It's just as important to know what Owntic does as it is to be crystal clear on what it doesn't do. So what exactly does Owntic say they are not responsible for? Okay, this is where you really have to understand Owntic's role. They make it plain that they are not liable for pretty much anything that happens after they've made the match. The condition of your car, that's on you. The accuracy of the listing, your responsibility. Any disputes over payments, even the delivery of the vehicle, all of that is between you and the business. You have to remember, Owntic is the matchmaker. They are not the referee, and they are definitely not the guarantor of your deal. And all of this brings us right back to that final big question. Look, Owntic offers a very clear path to unlocking the cash that's tied up in your car, all while you keep on driving it. But as these terms make painfully clear, it's a path that means completely, totally giving up ownership. So by understanding every single detail, from that super strict no buyback rule all the way to the limits of what the platform is responsible for, you're the only one who can decide who really holds the keys in the end.